Yes. Now, can we proceed with the normal goods and inferior goods? What is the meaning of inferior goods?
That have a lower quality than in normal goods.
Uh,
Lower
yes,
quality than normal goods, which like people with less income can buy.
right, exactly. So we will see, difference between the normal goods and inferior goods. Basically, most of the commodities that we usually buy are normal goods. That is normal, it means what? Superior, right? As a general practice, uh, a consumer buys more of such goods when the income rises and less of it when his income falls. It means what? Consumers will buy when his income will increase, right? And he will buy less when his income level is fall down, right? So the commodities that follow this rule are called as normal goods. So this rule is called as normal goods rule, right? Now, normal goods refers to those goods whose demand increases with an increase in the income level. In this case, price of the commodity will be the remain same, but he'll buy more goods when his income level is increasing, and it could be happen vice versa also. Example: the demand for TV increases with the rise in income of customer. Right? Then TV will be called as a normal goods. Income effect is positive in case of normal goods. When you talk about the income level is good income level, and that time they are buying more TV. That time demand of the TV is having more, so that is called as positive income level. Positive demand. So as well as you can say normal goods from the point of view customer. Now, second thing is that the income of the consumer is shown on. See, this is the elaboration of this diagram. Here is having O axis, here is having X axis, and here is having Y axis. So, O axis indicates demand for TV, and O2 axis it indicates income of the TV, consumer. When income of Mr. X was O2XY, O2Y, O2Y, when consumer income was O2Y, that is called as this one. Hereby, demand for the TV was O2Q up to this, right? When his income level is increased from OY to OY1, OY to OY1, right? When his income level is increased, then demand also increased from OQ to OQ1, OQ to OQ1. So now you can say like this, and this demand curve, it goes to the upward side. Demand of normal goods rise from OQ to OQ1 due to increase in income from OY to OY1. So I have already explained this over here, right? When income is increasing, demand is increasing. As well as you can say demand increased. Either demand, in the case of normal goods, demand curve will be moves to the upward side and the downward side. Might be this kind of question will be asked in the examination. So your answer will be upward
Okay.
side. Upward side. Right? Got it up to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll see for the inferior goods. Basically, inferior goods, it refers to those goods whose demand decreases with an income, with an increase in income. See, inferior good, it means what? Those goods whose goods demand is decreasing. Why? Let's see. With an increase in income. How? Let's see. It means that there exists an inverse relationship between the income and the demand for inferior goods. It means what? Income effect is negative in case of inferior goods. It must be noted that inferior goods are generally purchased because they are essential of life, like coarse grain. Like that example, core gains. Suppose if the income of consumer rises and he prefer to replace his black and white TV, in this case consumers are switching his using commodity from a normal to superior, right? In this case, when his income was increased, and in this case he was using black and white TV, right? So when his income level is increased, he will buy only color TV. It means what? Demand for black and TV, black and white TV is decreased, right? So demand decreased. Why? Because of the reason he is switching, he is moving to another superior kind of goods, using of superior kind of goods. TV with a colored one, either the demand for black and white TV will fall. What if suppose I'll give a simple example. Forget about this one. Suppose at this moment, Mr. Ram having 10K income per month, right? But he would like to eat, pizza every most of the time. But due to reason of he prefer only using of eating of vada pav instead of pizza. But when his income is increased from 10,000 to 30,000, then he will switch his choice. He will switch to eat to the pizza. He will not go for the vada pav. Why? Because of the reason instead of increasing of income, but still he's switching to the another product, another commodity, other items. You can see in the earlier scenario, his income level was low. That is why he was prefer to eat only vada pav. But when his income is rises, he is switching from vada pav to pizza, right? So automatically demand for the vada pav will be fall down. Got it?
Yeah.
Now you'll more understand on the basis of diagram. Here is having o-axis, here is having x-axis, here is having y-axis. Now here is having a demand of black and white TV, and here is having income, right? When income of Mr. X was O to Y, he buy O to Q quantity, right? But when his income level increased, he'll buy superior kind of goods. It means what? He will switch from OQ to OQ1, right? So that is why it is called as inferior goods. Under the inferior goods, demand will decrease due to the reason of increasing income. Why? Because of the reason he is switching, he is moving to another kind of product, using of superior kind of products. So this is the simple example, difference between the inferior as well as normal goods. Now you will understand again on the basis of distinguished basis. Normal goods refers to those goods whose demand increases with an increase in income. But in the other scenario, inferior goods refers to those goods whose demand decreases with an increase in income level. In the both situation, income level is increasing, but demand is decreasing. In this case, demand is decreasing, and in this case, demand is increasing. Income effect. Income effect is positive, and income effect is negative. There is a direct relationship between income and demand. And there is an inverse relationship between the income and demand for inferior goods. Right? Now, law of demand. Normal goods always follow the law of demand rule. Income level rises, demand will be rises. Income level fall down, demand will be fall down. But law of demand may fall in case of inferior goods. Fail in the case of inferior goods. That is, there may be or may not be an inverse relationship between price of the commodity and quantity of the demanded. Because most of the important factor in the both cases, only income level is important factor. Now, example, full cream milk is a normal good if its demand is increased with an increase in income. But toned milk is an inferior good, right? So if it demand
Yeah.
decreases with an increase in income, right? So these are the examples of normal and inferior goods. Inferior goods. Now, effect on demand curve with change in income. How? A change in income cause as a positive change in the demand for a normal goods, and whereas negative in the change occurs in the case of inferior goods. Right? So the demand curve of given commodity is affected by the change in income in case of normal goods and inferior goods. It must be noted that there is no change in demand for the necessity goods with increase or decrease in income. It doesn't matter. If income level is increasing or decreasing, but it will not be affecting, it will not be, this factor is not affecting on the consuming of
Hmm.
commodity. You can take a simple example of food oil, either salt. These are the necessities goods. Is it possible? Suppose salt prices fall down. Salt prices fall down. So is it possible to eat more and more salt every day?
No.
Either if food oil is prices is fall down again. Is it possible to using of instead of water you can consume the oil? Is it
Hmm.
possible? Not possible. So this kind of things it will not be affected on the these kind of necessities goods only. Income level never affecting on the necessary goods, right? Now a change, increase or decrease in the income of consumer directly affect the demand for a given commodity. Increase in income, as income rises, demand for the normal goods also rises,
Yes.
right? We have seen these kind
Yeah.
of examples earlier lectures. There is not a big deal, right? बहुत सारे एग्जांपल देखे हैं कि जैसे इनकम बढ़ता है डिमांड बढ़ती है सेम थिंग रिपीटिंग अगेन एंड अगेन decrease in income. With fall in income, demand for a normal goods falls. So demand curve from normal goods shift towards leftward side. Just due to the reason of decrease in the income. So you can keep in mind only these point keywords only. Now change in income, it is related to the inferior goods. And increase or decrease in income may affect the demand inversely if the given commodity is an inferior goods. Example, increase in income and increase in demand. But in the other case, it will be fall down of the black and white TV. Let's see how demand curve of inferior goods related to the black and white TV shift toward the left hand side from DD to DD1. In this case, after the increasing of income, demand is decreasing of black and white TV,
Yeah.
right? So you can keep in mind this example. Decrease in income, as income decrease, the demand for inferior goods rises from at the same price. It means what? Now it's related to the again black and white TV. Demand for inferior goods, that is black and white TV, shift towards rightward side, right? Due to
Yeah.
decrease in income at the same price. If decrease in the income, demand will be increase of the black and white TV. So he is switching from DD to DD1. Both are examples of black and white TV. You can take vada pav and any other example. That is not a big thing. Again, rightward and leftward shift demand curve. In addition to change in price of retail goods and income of the consumer, the demand curve also shift due to various other factors. Let us have a graphical. We have seen that, these are the examples. Now let's see. Demand curve shift towards right because of increase in price of substitute goods, decrease in price of complementary goods, increase in income level, decrease in income, but related to the inferior goods, not for everything. Increase in population, taste in favorite, favor of commodity, expectation of future increase in price. So these are the examples. In these cases, demand curve shift toward the right hand side. It will move from DD to DD1. Now, in which situation your demand curve will move to the leftward side? Let's see, decrease in the price of the substitute goods, complementary goods, normal goods, inferior goods. These are the example will be remain same.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the examples of demand curve. Now, kinds of demand. Price demand. Basically, price demand refers to the relationship between the price and demand of the commodity. But assuming other factors are constant. It can be shown as we have seen in an example. Income demand. Income demand refers to the relationship between the income of the consumer, increase or decrease of the income of the consumer. Now, cross demand. Cross demand is the relationship between the demand for a given commodity and the price of the rated commodity. Assuming other things remain the same, only price is changed. Now then, joint demand. When two or more goods are demanded simultaneously to satisfy a particular want. Example, demand for sugar, milk, and tea. These are the examples of joint demand. Then composite demand. When commodity can be put in several uses, a demand known as the composite demand. Example, demand for electricity is composite demand. It can be used various purposes like lighting, rooms, running the refrigerator, TV, AC, etc. These are the examples of composite demand. Derived demand. Demand for commodity which depends on the demand for other goods is known as the derived demand. Example, demand for labor producing cloth. A derived demand for it depends upon the demand for cloth. This is called as derived demand. Direct demand, alternative demand, competitive demand. Basically, you can keep in mind most of the time from the point of exam point of view, these are the important points. These are the important terms and demand concept. So these are the examples. There are three households A, B, C.
So
Yes.
can derived demand be called like no what just a second.
Commodity depend on the demand
Like,
for the other goods.
yeah. So
Example,
can it be like so can
tell.
it be like in joint wala like if you need to make sugar if you need to make tea you need sugar so it's kind of derived, right? You're using sugar. So in a way it's connected. Okay.
Now direct demand is different, demand for clothes, books, food, it's direct demand. Alternative means not like that. I had given an example of vada pav. Instead of chapati, you can use anything. Instead of rice, you can use anything. You can write, use fruits, burger, pizza, etc. Alternative demand.
Yeah.
If we have less income, then we will go for the chapati. If you have better income level, then we can go for the fruits salad and pizza and blah 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 whatever you would like, right? So competitive demand, increasing demand for the coffee might reduce the demand for tea because if coffee price is decreasing, right? then tea demand will be decreasing, because coffee demand will be increased because of the reason coffee price is decreased. That is called as
Yeah.
competitive demand, right? So these are the examples. There are three households C, B, C in a market. From the following table, given below, calculate demand for the household B at various levels. So now let's see in this case how it works. Household Mr. A, then price was 14. So household A bought 12 units, household B never bought anything units, but household C used 22 units. So total market demand, it comes how much?
52.
See, see, in
Yeah.
this case, this is your example. So difference between the 22. So first of all, you can addition two figures, 12 plus 22. It comes
34.
434. So now 52 minus 34,
18.
18, right? So household will be used 18, right? When his total demand was market demand was 72. So make it addition of 16 plus 32,
48.
right? 48. So now deduct from the 72. 72 minus 48, 24. Am I right? So you can
Yeah.
find out the income of the the consumption of the household B, right?
It's 40.
Got it?
Yeah.
Because how is it possible to find out on the basis of market demand? What is the market demand? Total individual demand is equal to market demand. So your market demand price is given, but one individual demand is not given. But two individual demand is given. So just make it addition of
Yeah.
the two individual demand and it from the market demand. So it comes your answer of individual demand of the B. But now in this case, you need to find out the market demand for the point of view Z. X, Y, and Z. These are called as individual demand. You need to find out the market demand. So how is it possible to find out? 10 plus 5 plus 4. 10 plus 5, 15. 5, 15 plus 4, 19. It comes your
19.
market demand. Got it? So I think so.
Yeah.
This is your entire chapter. We have done it up to this. I hope you have finished this chapter.
Yeah.
Is there any doubt up to this?
No.
Sure.
Yeah. Sir, for the graphs, how do we figure out which one we have to place in X and which one we have to place in Y?
You are talking about which diagram? This diagram, for
No, like
example.
in general, is there any rules that we have to place something in like X or Y?
So basically, this line axis will always indicates a quantity. There is a specific rule,
Okay.
right? And it's your income level,
Okay.
right? That is not a big deal. If you take income level here this side, and if you take demand this side, there is no effect. There
Okay.
is no scientific reason behind that. Okay.